Warm weather, rivers, parks, restaurants, live music. Thinking about moving to New Braunfels? You are in luck. Today we're going to talk about the true cost of living in the city settled by a prince. Hey there, I'm Raad Alawan. I'm a real estate agent here in the New Braunfels area. And if you're new to my channel, thanks so much for hopping on. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos on living in New Braunfels and real estate topics as well. Before we jump into the true cost of living here in New Braunfels, I'm going to give you some quick facts and some history behind our River City.
Oh, yeah, right here in River City.
About 90,000 people call New Braunfels home. 13 years ago, when I first visited New Braunfels, that number was around 45,000. So 90,000 people today are nearing that. That's amazing. That's still about 900,000 less than Austin, which is about a short 45-minute drive away. And in San Antonio, which is even shorter, 30-minute drive away, is about 1.5 million people. Now, being in between those two cities, Austin and San Antonio, is why so many people call New Braunfels home. And for more on that, you can watch more of my videos on this channel. On a lot of my videos, you're going to notice that water is at the center of everything in New Braunfels. Long before the German settlers arrived in Texas, Native American tribes lived here because of its closeness to fresh spring water. The Comal Springs are the largest groundwater source in the state of Texas. It was Prince Solms of Braunfels, Germany, that recognized the Comal Springs held great promise. In 1844, Prince Solms left behind a crowded Germany for the shores of Texas. He arrived at the Comal Springs and purchased the over 1,000 acres of property along the Guadalupe River from the Vermindi family for $1,111. On Good Friday, March 21st, 1845, Germans reached the banks of the Guadalupe River just 6 days after Prince Solms purchased the property. That marked the founding of New Braunfels and established their community, building homes, planting crops, and raising livestock. If you've ever walked the downtown New Braunfels area, you're going to notice there are several homes and buildings that date all the way back to the 1850s, and some even earlier than that. These homes obviously don't look the same as when they were first built. They've been updated or restored. But today you can still relish every day in New Braunfels history just by parking your car and walking downtown. Now you can also turn back the clock in nearby historic district of Green with the famous Green Hall built in 1848. There's the general store, antique stores, river restaurants, and more feels from yesteryear. Now that you know a little bit more about New Braunfels, let's just jump into the real reason you're here today, and that is to know the true cost of living in New Braunfels. The biggest number in this whole cost of living equation is housing. Now, it's important to note that these values are going to be based on today's date, which is September 24th, 2020. Now, if you're purchasing a home closer to the city limits in New Braunfels, 78130 zip code, the median sales price as of today, September 24, 2020, is around $260,000. That's for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. Now, if it's hill country living you want and you want newer construction, 78132 zip code, you're going to be spending around $400,000 on average. That's a median sales price, or above, depending on the finishes and the size. That price is for anywhere from 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 4 bathrooms, and anywhere from 1,700 to 3,000 square feet. Are there homes in New Braunfels more than $260,000 and more than $400,000? Absolutely. Are there homes cheaper or more inexpensive than $260,000 and $400,000? Absolutely. But $260,000 is the median sales price you're going to pay for homes closer to the city of New Braunfels, and $400,000 is about the average you're going to pay for the hill country area. I'm including a link in the description below. It's an updated graph so you can tell where median sales prices were at a certain point and where they're at whenever you look at it. Now let's talk about prices in New Braunfels. Over the last year, prices have gone up $20,000. And that's because we have low inventory and the rates are so low. If you're planning on renting an apartment, expect to pay around $1,500 a month in New Braunfels, and that's for 2 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathrooms. Now it can get as high as $2,000 a month or even higher if you're looking for a more updated apartment or luxury, especially when you consider the Creekside area. For right around $2,000 a month there, you're gonna get 3 beds, 2 baths, and about 1,500 square feet. Now, if you want 4 beds and 3 baths and 2,000 square feet, expect to pay over $2,600 a month. So what you pay is going to depend on the condition and the size. All this information is coming to you from rentjungle.com. I dropped a link in the description below, so if you have any questions, check out that website. Now, if you're looking to rent a home versus an apartment here in New Braunfels, expect to pay anywhere between $1,500 and $1,600 a month. That's for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and right around between 1,000 square feet and 1,500 square feet. Now, are there homes for rent in New Braunfels more than $1,600 a month? Yes. Are there homes for rent in New Braunfels less than $1,600 a month? Absolutely. Do those go super quick? Yes. So make sure you have these conversations with your realtor who is helping you relocate to the area. It's very important that you know what your budget is and what you can expect to pay for a rental home here in the area. And if you need help finding a rental home here in New Braunfels, just reach out to me. I am more than happy to help. There are several private schools here in New Braunfels. The average tuition is right around $8,000 for the private elementary schools and right around $11,000 a year for the private high school. All right, so let's get into utilities and other cost of living factors. According to bestplaces.net, New Braunfels is just about the same as the national average when it comes to the overall cost of living. We come in at 13% above the national average in terms of housing, but our utilities are 27% cheaper than the national average. Our groceries are 7% cheaper than the national average, and our fuel costs, I can't remember the last time I paid over $2 for a gallon for unleaded gasoline. Our fuel costs here in New Braunfels are 18% cheaper than the national average. Our healthcare costs are 4% cheaper than the national average. So let's look at other places around Texas to see how New Braunfels stacks up when it comes to cost of living. New Braunfels is almost 4% more expensive than Houston's cost of living. Dallas, on the other hand, is about 2% more expensive than New Braunfels' cost of living. San Antonio, it's almost 10% cheaper to live in San Antonio compared to New Braunfels. And Austin, Texas, never cheap. It's almost 20% more expensive to live in Austin than in New Braunfels. Something to consider when you're living here in Texas, and this is a very good thing to consider, that we have more warmer months than we do colder months. In fact, it's even rare, knock on wood, that we see even a trace of snow. But it does happen every blue moon.
Snowing in New Braunfels. Yay!
And when it does, that's what a Texan looks like and sounds like. By the way, that was my wife. Still though, we're not jacking up the heat all hours of the winter. The average temperature in New Braunfels during the winter is 64 degrees. Now there are days where it's higher than 64 and there are days that are lower 64, but the average temp in New Braunfels during the winter is 64 degrees. So how warm or how cool you like your home, that's going to determine your utility bill. Our water bill is averaging right around $55 a month. Keep in mind, because summers are so hot in New Braunfels, we're using more water to water the lawns, to spray off the kids or the dogs with the water hose. But definitely, we're using more water in the summer months than in the winter. Our cable bill is right around $150 a month. We're using Spectrum, and that includes cable, internet, and streaming. If you just want internet, it's only about $49 a month. Let's talk about property tax and state income tax. Let's start with the good stuff first. There is no state income tax in Texas. However, Texas ranks 10th highest in the nation when it comes to property tax. But here in New Braunfels, we have lower property taxes than many of our surrounding cities. We're at 2.23%. as of today, September 24th, 2020. I'll have a link in the description below with all the tax information in the New Braunfels area. Of course, we have a very active lifestyle here in New Braunfels. The rivers, the parks, the trails. But if a gym is your thing too, that's fine. My favorite place to go in New Braunfels is the Doss Recreational Center when I'm not doing things outdoors. It's the best value. It costs $35 a month for just a single person, only $57 a month for a family membership. That includes all the workout equipment you can imagine, bikes, an indoor track, 2 pools, including one for the kiddos, and a nice water slide as well. And I put a link in the description below for more information on Doss Rec. If you have any questions for me about what it's like to live in New Braunfels, just reach out to me, or you can watch my other videos on this channel. And if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels, I would love to be your real estate agent of choice. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.